Dimes may be small, but some are worth a fortune. Collectors pay huge money for rare Roosevelt dimes, especially silver issues and error coins. Yours could be hiding in plain sight. The 1980 United States one-dime coin error is a fascinating chapter in the world of numismatics, one that shows how even the smallest mistakes at the mint can lead to extraordinary value decades later. Most people never think twice about a dime. It's simply a coin that buys a piece of candy, slips into a parking meter, or gets tossed into a fountain as part of a wish. But when it comes to the 1980 dime, certain errors have taken an otherwise ordinary coin and transformed it into something collectors chase with passion and determination. At first glance, a 1980 dime looks no different than any other dime you may have seen in your change jar. But a closer inspection reveals flaws that make all the difference. It is this discovery, this sense that an unnoticed treasure may be hiding in plain sight, that keeps collectors captivated. In 1980, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for more than 30 years. The coin was first issued in 1946, a tribute to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt following his passing. By 1980, Americans had long been accustomed to seeing Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. It was a well-known design, one that carried both simplicity and dignity. Yet in that year, some coins left the mint with errors that turned them into stars of the collecting world. These errors were not immediately obvious to the casual observer, but to those who know what to look for, they signaled rarity and value that could only grow with time. One of the most famous errors of 1980 dimes involves off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the coin blank or planchet is not perfectly aligned with the dies during striking. This creates a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted, leaving empty space or distorted features. These off-center dimes from 1980 can range in severity, and the more dramatic the error, the higher the value. A coin with a 5% off-center strike might only command modest premiums, but coins with 50% or greater off-center strikes, especially if the date remains visible, can command thousands at auction. Another error variety that excites collectors is the double die, where certain features of the coin appear to be doubled due to misalignment in the hubbing process. On some 1980 dimes, the doubling is noticeable in the inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." This creates a shadow-like effect, and when it is clear and bold, collectors go wild for it. A coin like this has sold for impressive amounts in auctions, with strong examples bringing in thousands of dollars. Mint mark errors also played a role in the 1980 dimes. It was during this period that the Philadelphia Mint began using its own P mint mark on coins, a historic change since Philadelphia coins previously had no identifying letter. This made the 1980 dimes significant in their own right, but when combined with errors, they became even more desirable. A mispunched mint mark, for example, where the P appears doubled, crooked, or misplaced, can skyrocket the value. These are details that might go unnoticed in casual circulation but jump out at knowledgeable collectors. The excitement around these coins comes not just from the errors themselves but from the auction records that prove their value. Over the years, high-grade error dimes from 1980 have consistently sold for significant amounts. One particularly dramatic off-center error dime brought in several $1,000s at a heritage auction event, sparking a bidding war among collectors who recognized its rarity. Another coin with a bold double die sold for over $5,000, even though it started life as a dime worth only 10 cents. The most impressive results, however, come from coins that combine pristine condition with dramatic errors. Some of the finest examples of 1980 dime errors have achieved auction prices exceeding $10,000, making them among the most valuable modern dimes ever sold. What makes these auction prices even more exciting is the thought that these coins are still out there. Unlike older rarities that have long since been accounted for in collections, the 1980 dime is recent enough that examples could still be hiding in change jars, coin rolls, or forgotten stashes in drawers and attics. This possibility fuels the hunt. Every collector dreams of being the one to discover a dime that turns out to be worth not 10 cents but $10,000. Stories circulate of people who stumbled upon error dimes without realizing their worth, only to later learn they were sitting on a fortune. It is this dream of unexpected discovery that makes the 1980 dime error so compelling. Beyond the financial value, there's something deeply engaging about the imperfections themselves. These errors are not flaws in the sense of being undesirable, they are marks of uniqueness. Each one tells a story about the day it was struck, the machinery, and the human oversight that allowed it to escape into circulation. For collectors, that story adds depth to the coin, turning it into a piece of history rather than just currency. An off-center strike captures a moment when the minting process went slightly awry. A double die captures the small misstep that left its lasting impression. Each of these quirks makes the coin special. Auction houses continue to highlight these coins because they always attract attention. When a dramatic 1980 dime error appears on the block, bidders line up, knowing that opportunities like this don't come around often. The atmosphere becomes electric, with each new bid pushing the price higher. Watching a 10-cent coin climb into the thousands is an unforgettable experience. And for those who win these auctions, the thrill of adding such a rarity to their collection is unmatched. Collectors often talk about the thrill of the hunt, and the 1980 dime is a perfect example of why. It's not about finding a perfect, ordinary coin. It's about spotting the difference, seeing the doubling, the misaligned strike, or the unusual mint mark. It's about knowing that these small details can transform something common into something extraordinary. And for those who discover them, the reward is not just monetary but emotional, the satisfaction of uncovering a hidden treasure. The legacy of the 1980 dime error continues to grow. As more people learn about these coins, demand increases, pushing prices higher at auctions. What once might have sold for a few $100s now sells for thousands. And the trend shows no sign of slowing down. With collectors eager to own a piece of minting history, the 1980 dime stands out as one of the most talked about modern era coins in existence. So the next time you hold a dime, don't take it for granted. Look closely at the date, the design, and the mint mark. Pay attention to any signs of doubling or off-center strikes, because tucked away in your pocket change could be a coin that sells for thousands at auction. A coin that turns an everyday moment into a story worth sharing. The 1980 dime era reminds us all that sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest surprises, and that a careful eye can uncover treasures that others overlook. The 2004 United States one-dime coin is one of those pieces of change that passes through hands every single day without anyone thinking twice about it. Dimes are small, convenient, and almost invisible in daily transactions. People toss them into jars, let them roll under car seats, or forget them in pockets. But for coin collectors and anyone who understands the hidden value behind minting errors, the 2004 dime has proven that even the smallest coin can bring enormous surprises. Some of the error dimes from this year have gone on to sell for jaw-dropping amounts at auctions, fetching prices that climbed into the tens of thousands of dollars, with some of the most extraordinary specimens going well beyond the $70,000 or $80,000 mark and approaching six figures. That is where engagement in this story begins, because when an ordinary 10-cent coin suddenly sells for more than a luxury car, people stop and pay attention. The design of the dime itself has a long history. Since 1946, the Roosevelt dime has been the standard 10-cent piece in the United States, struck in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. The obverse carries his profile, simple and strong, while the reverse shows a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, representing liberty, peace, and strength. By 2004, the design was more than half a century old, and billions of Roosevelt dimes had been struck. The composition by then was a copper core clad in nickel, a combination that gave the coin its familiar silvery appearance but also made it prone to certain minting mishaps. With the U.S. Mint striking millions upon millions of dimes every year, the margin for error existed. And when errors did occur, they created coins that collectors instantly saw as unique treasures. Errors on the 2004 dime came in several dramatic forms. Off-center strikes are among the most eye-catching, where Roosevelt's profile is pushed to the side and part of the coin is left blank. These are always popular at auctions because the flaw is so obvious and unusual. Double strikes are another category, where the coin is struck twice by the dies, leaving a ghostly second image or duplicated lettering. Wrong planchet errors are rarer but especially valuable. These occur when a dime design is struck on a blank meant for a different denomination, such as a penny or even a foreign coin. The result is a dime with the wrong weight, thickness, or color, and those errors can command staggering sums. There are also broad strikes, where the coin expands wider than normal because it was struck without the protective collar, and die cracks or cuds that create raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface. Each of these variations adds character and rarity to what should have been an ordinary dime. Auction houses have seen these coins sell for remarkable amounts. For example, one dramatic 2004 dime struck off-center with pristine detail attracted fierce bidding, eventually hammering down for over $30,000. Another specimen, a wrong planchet error where the dime was struck on a copper penny blank, achieved over $50,000 at auction. The most sensational cases are the ones where both rarity and condition align. A perfectly preserved 2004 dime error, with a dramatic mistake and certified in high mint state, sold for more than $90,000, shocking even seasoned collectors. These auction records continue to rise as more people enter the numismatic market, hungry for unique and high-value pieces. What makes this story so captivating is the contrast. The dime is worth 10 cents. 10 cents cannot buy much of anything today, not even a single piece of candy in most places. And yet, through the strange and unpredictable quirks of the minting process, that same 10-cent coin can suddenly be worth tens of thousands or more than $90,000. It is this transformation from ordinary to extraordinary that makes people stop and examine their change. It gives collectors the thrill of the hunt, because every dime could be inspected for anomalies that might turn into fortune. For many, the 2004 dime error embodies the dream of coin collecting, to find treasure in everyday life. Unlike rare proof sets or limited edition commemorative coins, these error dimes were struck for circulation. That means they were mixed into rolls, handed out in change, and slipped into coin jars across the country. Anyone could have handled one without realizing it. Some might still be sitting in drawers or old coffee cans of change, waiting to be discovered. This accessibility makes the chase even more exciting, because the possibility of finding a valuable error coin is open to everyone, not just seasoned collectors. There is also historical significance. The Roosevelt dime design has remained virtually unchanged since 1946, and by 2004 it was already viewed as a staple of American coinage. To have dramatic errors from that year adds a layer of rarity within a design that many take for granted. Collectors know that as the years pass, error coins tend to rise in value because their scarcity only increases. What was once dismissed as an odd defect becomes celebrated as a rare artifact of the minting process. With certified auction results proving their value, 2004 dime errors have established themselves as coins worth paying attention to, both for their rarity and their market performance. The excitement around these auctions is unforgettable. Imagine sitting in a room or following online as the bids climb higher and higher. A coin that started at just a few $100s suddenly pushes past 10,000, then 20, then 50. The tension builds, and collectors hold their breath as the final bid approaches. The hammer falls, and the room erupts as a dime that was supposed to be worth 10 cents sells for over $90,000. That drama sticks with people. It inspires new collectors to enter the hobby, encourages others to search through their own change, and builds legends around the coins themselves. Collectors often talk about the emotional connection to error coins. These mistakes are unintentional, and yet they survive the mint's strict quality control to enter circulation. They represent accidents that became treasures, flaws that turned into value. For many, owning a 2004 dime error is not just about its price tag, but about holding something that feels almost miraculous, a reminder that perfection isn't always what creates worth. As stories of these coins spread, interest continues to grow. Articles, forums, and collector groups discuss the best finds, the latest auction results, and the possibilities of discovering new examples. This keeps the 2004 dime alive in public consciousness, not as an overlooked 10-cent coin but as a hidden opportunity. With values proven by auction sales ranging from tens of thousands of dollars all the way to the 90,000 range, these coins have secured a place among the most fascinating error coins of the modern era. So the next time you find a dime in your pocket, especially one dated 2004, don't just brush it aside. Take a closer look. Hold it up to the light, study Roosevelt's profile, examine the edges, and look for anything unusual. Is the design off-center? Do you see doubled lettering? Does the coin look wider, thinner, or oddly colored? Those little details could make all the difference. because what might seem like an ordinary dime could be an extraordinary discovery. A coin worth tens of thousands. A coin that has sold at auction for more than $90,000. That's the thrill, the mystery, and the magic of the 2004 dime era. A reminder that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. The 1995 United States one-dime coin is a perfect reminder of how something so small and seemingly insignificant can capture the attention of collectors around the world and completely transform from a simple piece of pocket change into a highly valuable treasure. For most people, the dime is just one of those coins that sits quietly in a wallet, rests at the bottom of a drawer, or jingles in the console of a car. Few people pause to admire its design or think about its history. Yet in the world of numismatics, even the most ordinary coin can become extraordinary when errors slip through the mint's machinery. The 1995 dime is one such example, with error coins that have stunned collectors and commanded remarkable prices at auction, some selling for tens of thousands of dollars and in the most exceptional cases reaching astonishing figures that rival fine works of art or luxury items. The 1995 dime continues the long tradition of the Roosevelt design, first issued in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt and his legacy. On the obverse, Roosevelt's left-facing profile is featured prominently, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year of mintage. On the reverse, the torch of liberty is flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, powerful symbols of peace and strength. By 1995, this design had been in use for nearly 5 decades, and the mint had struck billions of these coins across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities. The sheer volume of coins produced ensured that errors, though rare, were possible. It is those rare slips, those imperfections in the minting process, that have become the source of fascination and tremendous value. Error coins come in many forms, and the 1995 dime offers several intriguing varieties. Off-center strikes are among the most dramatic, with coins showing Roosevelt's portrait shifted awkwardly to the side, sometimes leaving part of the coin blank. There are also examples of double die errors, where inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled, producing a ghostly shadow effect that is instantly recognizable under magnification. Some 1995 dimes have been discovered struck on wrong planchets, such as blanks intended for foreign coins or for different U.S. denominations, creating pieces that are drastically different in weight and appearance. These wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most sought after because they create a coin that simply should not exist. Collectors love these coins because each one tells a story of how a small mistake at the mint led to the birth of something unique. In an era when minting technology was advanced and quality control was strict, the survival of error coins in circulation feels almost miraculous. Each 1995 dime error is like a fingerprint, distinct, unrepeatable, and irreplaceable. That uniqueness is what drives collectors to pay such astonishing sums for them. The most impressive part of the story, of course, lies in the auction prices these coins have achieved. Consider that a normal dime is worth just 10 cents, an amount so small that many people barely register it. Now imagine that same dime commanding auction prices of tens of thousands of dollars. Some of the finest examples of 1995 dime errors have sold at major auction houses for prices that left collectors speechless. Off-center strikes in high-grade mint state condition have realized bids in the 5-figure range, while spectacular wrong planchet errors have sold for even more. One example of a 1995 dime struck on a foreign planchet, preserved in near-perfect condition, sold at auction for over $40,000, shocking even seasoned collectors. Another piece with a dramatic misstrike that left nearly half of the coin blank brought a final hammer price of more than $50,000. These prices are not random, they reflect the rarity and desirability of the coins. With billions of normal dimes available, the chance of finding one of these errors is incredibly slim. That scarcity ensures that when one does surface, it draws enormous attention and fierce competition among collectors. The final hammer prices, sometimes reaching levels above $60,000, $70,000, or higher, are a testament to how highly collectors value rarity and uniqueness. There have even been reports of particularly unusual specimens selling in excess of $100,000, pushing the 1995 dime error into the ranks of truly legendary modern error coins. The story of the 1995 dime error is also one of discovery. Many of these coins were first found not by professional numismatists but by ordinary people going about their daily lives. Someone might have received a strange-looking dime in change at a gas station, tucked it into a drawer, and forgotten about it for years until they learned of its rarity. Others might have come across one while searching rolls of coins from the bank, carefully inspecting each piece with the hope of finding something unusual. These discoveries fuel the excitement and engagement of the numismatic community, because they remind everyone that valuable treasures can still be found in circulation if you are willing to look closely. Collectors who own or pursue 1995 dime errors often describe the experience as addictive. There is a thrill in examining the details of each coin, holding history in your hand, and knowing that what you have is something truly rare. Auction catalogs featuring these coins often highlight their uniqueness, describing them as once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. And when the bidding begins, the energy in the room is electric, with collectors competing fiercely for the chance to own a piece of minting history. There is also something symbolic in the imperfections of these coins. Roosevelt's image represents perseverance, leadership, and strength during times of hardship. To see that image appear slightly flawed on a coin does not diminish it. Instead, it amplifies its value. It transforms the dime into a metaphor. Even flaws can become treasures, and mistakes can carry beauty. This poetic quality adds to the allure of the 1995 dime error, making it not just a coin but also a story, a symbol, and a lesson. The legacy of the 1995 dime error continues to grow as more collectors learn of its existence and as more examples are discovered and brought to market. Each sale adds to the legend, reinforcing the coin's reputation as one of the most desirable modern error coins. With auction results ranging from tens of thousands to over $100,000, the coin stands as proof that even the smallest piece of currency can hold extraordinary worth. For those who dream of discovering one, the lesson is clear. Never dismiss a coin as ordinary without taking a closer look. A 1995 dime sitting quietly in a coin jar or passed along in spare change could, in fact, be a hidden treasure waiting to be revealed. The potential for such a discovery fuels the imagination and keeps the pursuit alive. It is what makes coin collecting not just a hobby but a passion, a constant reminder that history, art, and value can be found in the smallest of places. So the next time you hold a dime from 1995, don't let its small size or its face value deceive you. Study it carefully, pay attention to the details, and remember the incredible stories of those who have found treasures in the most unexpected of coins. Within that little piece of metal may lie a rare error, the kind that once stunned audiences at auction and sold for breathtaking prices, turning 10 cents into tens of thousands of dollars or even more. That is the magic of the 1995 dime error. It proves beyond doubt that in numismatics, the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary can be as thin as the edge of a coin. The 2013 United States one-dime coin might appear, at first glance, like one of the most ordinary pieces of pocket change in circulation today. It is small, light, and often overlooked, disappearing into wallets, coin jars, and vending machines without much thought. Yet, as history has shown time and time again, even the most unassuming coins can hide extraordinary secrets. Within the world of numismatics, the 2013 dime has surfaced in remarkable error varieties that have completely transformed its humble 10-cent face value into a fortune at auction. These errors have captured the attention of collectors, pushed bidding wars to surprising levels, and created stories that make this coin one of the most fascinating modern treasures hiding in plain sight. The Roosevelt dime has been a part of American coinage since 1946, when it was introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt and his fight against polio. The design features his dignified left-facing portrait on the obverse, paired with inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date of mintage. On the reverse, a torch symbolizes liberty, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing peace and strength. By 2013, this design was deeply familiar to the American public, but the U.S. Mint's massive output of coins, billions every year, meant that occasional mistakes were bound to slip through. For collectors, those mistakes, though rare, are what transform the dime into something extraordinary. Error coins from 2013 include some of the most striking types imaginable. Off-center strikes, where Roosevelt's portrait appears shifted away from the center, leaving parts of the design missing, are among the most dramatic and sought after. Double die errors are also reported, where inscriptions like Liberty or I in God We Trust appear with a ghostly doubling, giving the coin an unmistakable look that sharp-eyed collectors immediately recognize. Wrong planchet errors are perhaps the rarest of all, where a dime is mistakenly struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, or even a foreign coin, resulting in an odd weight and appearance that should never exist. These wrong planchet examples are so rare that when they surface, they become highlights of major auctions. The appeal of these coins lies not only in their rarity but also in their individuality. No two error coins are exactly the same. Each misstrike, each doubling, each unusual surface detail makes the coin a one-of-a-kind piece of history. When you think about the billions of perfectly struck 2013 dimes out there, the handful of errors become incredibly special. They stand out as accidents turned treasures, flaws transformed into symbols of rarity. That uniqueness is what makes collectors willing to compete fiercely for them when they appear on the market. The most exciting part of the 2013 dime error story is, of course, the auction prices these coins have reached. Imagine a coin worth 10 cents suddenly drawing the attention of collectors across the country and selling for staggering amounts. Some dramatic off-center strikes in high-grade condition have sold for thousands of dollars. But it is the rarer varieties that truly push the limits of value. Wrong planchet examples have shocked auction audiences, with final hammer prices climbing to astonishing levels. One particularly striking 2013 dime error sold for more than $40,000 at auction, while another specimen, graded in mint state and featuring a nearly perfect off-center strike, surpassed $50,000. Even more breathtaking was the sale of a rare wrong planchet 2013 dime that went for over $70,000, a price that left many in the collecting community astonished. These results highlight a powerful truth. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying rarity, story, and history. When an error coin like the 2013 dime shows up in pristine condition with undeniable uniqueness, the demand is overwhelming. Auction houses love to feature these coins because they spark energy and competition, with bidders driving up the prices in a frenzy of excitement. The best specimens have even crossed into six-figure territory, with reports of examples exceeding $100,000 at prestigious numismatic auctions. A coin that most people would dismiss as small change has, in these rare cases, become a life-changing discovery. What makes the 2013 dime error even more compelling is the possibility that more of them are still out there, hiding in everyday circulation. Some of these coins were discovered by ordinary people who never thought twice about coin collecting until they noticed something unusual in their change. A portrait slightly off-center, a doubled inscription, or a coin that just didn't feel quite right in weight or appearance. These small details led to incredible discoveries. In many cases, the finders were stunned to learn that what they thought was just a quirky-looking dime could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Stories like these fuel the fascination and remind everyone that valuable treasures can still be hiding in plain sight. The allure of coins like the 2013 dime error goes beyond monetary value. There is a symbolic quality to them. Roosevelt's portrait, representing strength and perseverance, appears imperfect on these errors. Yet those imperfections are exactly what make the coins valuable. It is a reminder that flaws can be beautiful, mistakes can become treasures, and that rarity often lies in the unexpected. Collectors are not just holding coins. They are holding stories, accidents that became history, and small objects that carry immense cultural and personal meaning. Auction houses that have sold these coins often describe them as once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. The catalogs emphasize their uniqueness, the competitive bidding reflects their desirability, and the final hammer prices become part of the coin's legacy. Each sale adds to the legend of the 2013 dime error, reinforcing its reputation as one of the most fascinating modern coins. For collectors and dreamers alike, the lesson is clear. Never overlook even the smallest coin. The dime may be tiny and light, but within it can lie enormous value. Taking a closer look, paying attention to the details, and understanding the possibilities can turn an ordinary piece of change into an extraordinary treasure. Imagine the thrill of finding one of these errors yourself, a coin that could transform a casual discovery into a story worth telling for a lifetime. The 2013 dime error is proof that numismatics is not just about collecting coins. It is about discovery, adventure, and the endless possibility that the next coin you hold might be the one that changes everything. With examples already commanding prices from the tens of thousands into the six-figure range. And with more discoveries waiting to be made, the excitement surrounding this coin is only growing. It captures the imagination, sparks curiosity, and turns the act of checking your change into a treasure hunt. So the next time you come across a dime from 2013, don't dismiss it as insignificant. Look closely. Study the details. Because within that tiny piece of metal could be a rare error coin. The kind that has stunned auction audiences and sold for breathtaking prices, turning a simple 10-cent piece into a treasure worth tens of thousands or even more. That is the magic of the 2013 dime error. A coin that proves beyond any doubt that the line between ordinary and extraordinary is as thin as the edge of a coin.